Lastly, we're going to look at equations involving the absolute value. And we have to remember what the absolute value sign means. So the absolute value of A translates to two statements. It's equal to A if A is greater than or equal to 0, and it's minus A if A is less than 0. So anytime the absolute value appears in a calculation, you should translate this into two equations or two statements. So to solve something of the form the absolute value of A equals B, we must allow for both possibilities, that the absolute value of A is A or the absolute value of A is minus A. So this gives us two equations. The absolute value of A might be A itself, if A were positive, and in that case you're looking at the equation A equals B. Or if the absolute value of A was minus A, then you get another equation, minus A equals B. So this equation translates to two equations, B equals A or B equals minus A, or if you multiply this by minus, you get A equals minus B. So to solve this equation, to find all solutions, 3x plus 1, the absolute value of that equals 5, and that gives us two equations. 3x plus 1 equals 5, might have some solutions, and 3x plus 1 equals negative 5, or 5 equals negative this. So we should solve both equations. Let's start with 3x plus 1 equals 5. This is a linear equation, so it's very easy to solve. I bring the x's to one side and all other numbers to the other, so I get 3x equals 4, or x equals 4 over 3. It gives me a solution to my equation. And the other equation is 3x plus 1 equals negative 5. In solving that, I get 3x equals negative 5, negative 1, which is negative 6, or x equals negative 2. So I have two solutions to this equation. And for this equation, again, I need to translate that to two equations. So this is the equation x squared plus 2x equals 1, and x squared plus 2x equals negative 1. So any solution to this will also give me a solution to this equation, and any solution to this will also give me a solution to this equation. Okay, so I'm going to try the first equation, which is a quadratic. X squared plus 2x equals 1. Bring everything over to the left, and I get x squared plus 2x minus 1 equals 0. And now the factors of this are not obvious. 1 and 1 don't work, and so I use the quadratic formula to solve this. So it's minus b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And that's minus 2 plus or minus the square root of 2 times 4 all over 2. And that's equal to minus 2 plus or minus, this 4 comes out and becomes a 2 times the square root of 2 over 2, and dividing by the 2, I get minus 1 plus or minus the square root of 2. So I have two solutions to this first equation. X equals minus 1 plus the square root of 2, and x equals minus 1 minus the square root of 2. The second equation, so let's call that one dagger. And this one, dagger, dagger. So my second equation is x squared plus 2x equals -1. Bringing everything over to the left, we get x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 0. And now I can factor this pretty easily. It's just x plus 1 squared. This gives me exactly one solution, x equals -1. So I have 3 solutions to this equation, and I have 2 solutions to that equation. Just a couple of tips for success in Calculus 1. You should always write complete mathematical sentences, but you should also develop the habit of showing all of your steps. This will help in long calculations. It will help you see where you're at, and you can reference where you're at. And this is a very good habit, and it's something, unfortunately, that if people don't develop, it tends to cost them a lot of points in long calculations. It's always good to reflect on your solution to a problem. So the purpose of a lot of these problems is just to give you exercise in applying methods, and when you get the right answer or even the wrong answer, you should reflect on your solution, think about the general methods that you've used, and if you've gone wrong somewhere, why you've gone wrong.